Right, this time round we're going to attempt to try and find a Mankey. I've got no idea how long this is going to take because knowing my luck we won't find one for ages. What we do find first is a Spearow. I'm going to ember it, just see how much it does. Just a bit of, statistical knowledge. It does just a shade under half. Very, very slightly under half. So you're using another ember and it's in perfect range to catch. And I believe I do after it's growled at me. Yes, we resort to the bag and the Pokeballs, of which we have 15 of them, just to make sure I can catch whatever I want to catch. We never know what might happen. Something might take a ridiculously large amount of balls to catch. We never know. Gotcha, Spearow was caught. Boring information. Give a nickname? No. Let's have a look at it. Spearow. Summary. It's lax, which is crap. And I don't intend to use a Spearow anyway, regardless of what nature it was. But it's there as a filler for now, I suppose. So let's resort to... Whoa, no, it's not a Mankey. It's a Rattata. Very exciting, as you know. Such exciting. I'm hoping this will do more than half, given what happened to the Spearow. And it does. So it's a 2-hit kill. And I got a crit, but it doesn't really matter, given, still barely did anything. So Ember was a 2-hit kill. And another level up. So you could count this as grinding, I suppose, if you're a pessimist and a bad person that wants to make me look awful. You can guarantee it isn't. I'm still going to try and look for this Mankey. Who knows how long it's going to take. That's not Mankey either. So yeah, we could be waiting here for a wee while, unfortunately, but there's nothing we can do about it. So there we are. Let's keep looking. We're going to find one eventually. Nope, that's not one either. There will be one. I insist there's one in here somewhere. Got bored, so I'm starting to run away from him rather than kill him. Because my patience is limited, as is yours who are watching this from the screen. Another Rattata. It's a very slow process, as you know. There's not a lot you can do about it, so you just gotta hope for the best and hope you can find one. At some point, surely we'll find one, but it'll take its time, no doubt. It's a very slow process. As you can see, another not Mankey. Run away again. It's a very, very slow process, and it's an even bigger nightmare to narrate. I can absolutely guarantee it, because you might be thinking, well, this is a bit drab. It's more drab when you're the one that's having to think of something to say while it's not being at all interesting in any way, shape or form. Clearly I forgot to press the A button there, that's why there was a slight delay. What you might also notice is that sometimes I will click the equivalent to select every now and again by accident, because X and Y are the equivalents to that. And there is a Mankey. That's an ideal candidate to pick up, but I get a crit on it. Hooray! So it take even longer to get one. The game pulling a bit of a dick move there. I think it knows what Pokemon you're after, but it's just, yeah, you're not having any of that. Refusal to play ball. But then another one turns up very soon after, and it's a slightly higher level, which means it'd be slightly easier to raise. So let's hope we don't get a crit on this one, that's for sure. And I don't, but I sort of do an awkward amount of health, so I'm not sure whether a ball will catch it or not, because it does maybe 3/5 or so. Something in that region. And we do catch it, I think. Yeah, we do, which is nice. I mean, I didn't have to risk using a scratch and killing it, or anything else. I don't know what else can possibly happen in games. It's not as if you're going to have a fight with the struggle, because there's no Metapod in there. See, I clicked the Y button there by accident. Got to see now, is the Mankey any good? And it's Impish, which is, it's not the best thing ever, but it's usable. It could be a lot worse, put it that way. So I'm happy with that. And we're going to waddle away very, very slowly. Very, very slowly. Like I said, you should really get the running shoes by now, if the game was designed properly and thoughtfully. But you don't, so we're going to go back to heal inevitably. Because obviously, when you catch Pokemon at low health, and it's not a heal ball capture or anything like that. So there's no way around it in that way. Just edit the microphone there, much better. Now it's not rubbing up against my face. I clicked select again there by accident. Oh well, let's get around that. Much better. It's nothing worse having a microphone rub along your face. It's a very big pain in the arse. Luckily we don't have to go through the coffee man instructions again. Thank God, because that's a very, very boring process. So we just have to go up the map continuously up until Pewter City, which involves going through the forestry area, which in contrast to Generation 2 in the gold, silver, crystal games is not a half-arsed effort where there's sort of a forest there, but it is just a pile of crap because they've run out of space on the cartridge, which is quite a big fail really, but what are you going to do? Have you caught a Rattata? No, I have not. Are you going to Viridian Forest? Yes, I am. Why else would I go up to this part of the map? So they don't think this through at all. They ask dumb shit questions. He came with his friends and they're going to want to battle. How come he's the only one that's dressed not with a ridiculous hat on him? Who knows? Who knows? Lots of rubbish random encounters I suspect we're going to get here. Lots of very, very boring Caterpies, Weedles, Metapods, Cocooners. All of that crap. And there is a Cocooner right on cue. Oh, joy of joys. And I'm sort of slightly apathetic towards battling it, but I have to level up this Mankey because the Mankey at the moment is crappy. And there is the Harden, which is sort of needed, isn't it, I suppose? It's the only move it can do if it isn't a Weedle, because obviously if it's level 5 it never was a Weedle. So it will only know Harden, and they're the sort of things you end up with a Struggle War in. Nothing levels up. Unfortunately they don't give the biggest amount of experience either, which is a shame. You've obtained 1 Pokeball! Hooray! Because they're so expensive to buy anyway! Caterpie! Hooray! I'm going to try and kill it, I might as well. Oh, look how pathetic that was. It uses String Shot, it's so dangerous. What you might notice is that I will quite often attack Caterpies, but I will not attack Weedles because poison is a pain in the arse. Well, mainly because I was a bit of a cheap ass and probably didn't buy enough antidotes, but all the same, it's cheaper to battle Caterpies. I've nearly killed it, thank God. It takes long enough, doesn't it? This is just, yeah, to remind you of how slow these games are to play live. When, you know, right at the start of the game, most Pokemon don't have a stab move. They've got like power 30, 40, 50 tops. And it's pretty drab stuff, really. Caterpie finally fainted to give a pathetic 30 experience. Which when you come to the end of it is, you know, after all that time spent probably isn't worth it. But what are you going to do? There's a Weedle, and like I said, we're probably going to run away from that one. Yes, got away safely, because as we all know, Weedle is, well, it's not exactly a speed machine or speed demon. Another Caterpie. I hope I didn't decide to battle it. Oh, I decided to switch, so we're going to speed up a bit more, because at least Charmander can do some damage to it, rather than just stare at it menacingly. And it gets a critical, and it still does nothing to show how powerful it is. Ugh. It's super effective, it dies in 1 hit. If only Charmander wasn't utterly useless against Brock. But at least the Mankey level up. If only it could level up a lot quicker. For poison, use Antidote, because I couldn't read that in the description of the item. Another random encounter, whoopee! Another Caterpie, yay! Go Mankey, kick its ass. You've used Scratch and it still does pitiful damage even after a level up. But at least it's a 4-hit kill rather than a 5 or 6 like it was earlier. Come on, just kill it. At least String Shot miss so it takes a turn less or an attack less rather to kill it. Another 30 experience. Oh, there's a random person and an item. I was throwing Pokeballs And he's run out probably. I couldn't be bothered to read the rest of that. Tip, always buy more Pokeballs than you think you'll need. That way you don't have to waste time going back to the Pokemart halfway through. Very, very simple, and it's not as if in games like these you're going to be strapped for cash. Because, you know, you get tons of money for very, very basic battles a lot of the time. So it's not as if you'll ever be short of the cash. I mean, let's think about it. You start the game, by the time I'd first gone to the Pokemart, I could afford 3 antidotes, 10 Pokeballs, and some. So it's not as if you're ever going to be strapped. And you get free items on the floor a lot of the time anyway. And there's a potion, which you'd have to pay 300 for. But you are a nutter if you're buying potions. And finally we get a trainer battle. Hey, you have Pokemon, let's battle them. Some really, really creative vocab there. Rick has a Weedle, to be stereotypical of the bug catcher. To be fair though, if you live in this region of Kanto, there's not much else to catch. It's pretty crap, but that's probably a main criticism of this game that a lot of people would have, is that, you know, there aren't that many Pokemon. Because obviously it's sticking true to its Kanto Generation 1 roots, and you can only catch from the original batch of Pokemon. But what it does mean is that relative to the other games that have been around at this time, it lacks initial excitement. And I think Mankey learned Low Kick there, which is vital for beating Onix, because Onix weighs some ridiculous figure, something over 400 pounds I think, which means Low Kick becomes super powerful, which is very, very useful, especially when you've got a Charmander which will do peanuts to it. Oh, he's got an opposing Caterpie. It's so scary. Maybe it'll give me a bit more experience this time because it's not as crap. But because it's a Caterpie, it'll still give no experience because even if it's level 100, it's still crap. I mean, it's using String Shot. Well, that's it. That's pretty much its best move. It doesn't have Bug Bite, obviously, in this time period. So it really has nothing that you want, really. It's only when it becomes a Butterfree, when it gets moves like Confusion and the Sleep Powder, Poison Powder, Stun Spore, etc., etc., that it becomes useful. I'll talk to you next time.